Hey everybody, Sean here. Minor issue with Joe's recording. The file I don't think worked. It might work though, so if you don't hear this, then you're not hearing this and everything worked out. But if you are hearing this, the file got screwed up somehow. So we had to use the old phone file, the backup file. So quality, little iffy. Sorry about that. But love you guys and enjoy.
It's the horror show with Sean and Joe. Another episode ready to go. They're gonna talk about the good and the trash and anything in between. Cherishing make-believe, get ready for Halloween. It's the horror show. I know you missed those guys. Tune in and find out what's on their list tonight. They butcher and dissect, take apart and mutilate. Listen to your two favorite brainiacs communicate. It's the horror show.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Horror Show. Show dissects, mutilates, dismembers, and butchers all of your favorite and not so favorite horror movies and other horror-related events. I'm Sean.
I'm Joe.
Welcome back, Joe.
What's up, man?
Nothing. We just got through with a Patreon episode. We had a little Paul visit for our
Paul,
Patreon
for the
fans.
first time since our return, Paul has joined an actual episode. You know, not like a live show.
No, we've called him in before.
Not on the return.
Yeah.
Which episode?
A bunch of Patreon ones. He's Patreon Paul. He called in, we did 3 episodes where we called him into the Patreon.
You're talking about when we were doing live shows?
I don't think so.
Yeah, live shows, yeah. I'm talking about an actual recording episode.
No, I think it was recordings.
No, dude, we haven't called him in once. I really don't think so.
I'm gonna well, actually, I'm not gonna look. I really don't care. Somebody, you can let us know.
Yeah, no, because, I remember the headache. And this one, it was a, 5-minute conversation. Fucking headache. So subscribe to Patreon if you are interested.
If you're interested in headaches, that's just about what our Patreon has amounted to these days. No offense to all of our Patreon fans. Yeah, no, Paul came on. He immediately started fucking yelling. He hung up on us after the fucking 3 minutes, and then not even. It was less than a minute, probably.
Yes.
And then called back in and still seemed like it was the first time we called him and was irritated that we were calling him. Which, by the way, Joe gave him a heads up and was like, "Hey, are you available to talk?"
and I said what it was for too. It wasn't just gonna call you. We're recording.
So it was
Still
good
shocked.
though. Talked about Owen Wilson.
Yeah.
Talked about some shark stuff, shark movies. Well, this week we have Endgame versus Robowar. Endgame being Joe D'Amato's flick. Robowar being Mattei. I would say this is
This is a crucial week.
A crucial week, and our fighters came out a little tired this week.
I think there's a clear winner.
You do. I'm very curious what it is. I'm very curious what it is. I hope it's what I think it is.
I didn't realize it'd be polarizing because I had a couple of messages from some listeners who also said in those exact words, "There's a clear winner," and they've all given different answers.
Wait, about this week?
About this week. About
Really?
Endgame versus Robowar. Yeah.
What? Okay, what? What? Okay, wait. So I guess let's just fucking spill the beans. Who you think is the clear? Because, by the way, we could say clear winner at the beginning, but then when we go down the scores, I think we've had changes of heart in the past. We've been like, oh shit, thinking about it a little bit more. What off top of your head after watching these two, what's the winner?
Robowar.
Yeah, I agree with that. Who said Endgame?
There are quite a few. Quite a few.
That is insane to me. Endgame, um, Endgame was a stupid piece of shit. I could not stand Endgame. And it's crazy because I actually watched Robowar first, and you watched Robowar second. And you had messaged me, and you were like, it was like my favorite message. I was like, hey, I'm not going to say a lot about this movie, but Endgame is a fucking dreadful piece of shit or something like that. And I was like, oh, good, that'll be fun to watch. So I'd watched Robowar, and I was not really thrilled with it. Like, I didn't love it.
Okay.
I really didn't. Like, I was like, what the fuck is this? And then I was like, and this is the one that, you know, our listener said, you know, this is a good movie. And I was like, Jesus fucking Christ. Well, great. Can't wait to see Endgame then. And then Endgame was, I felt like infinitely worse. Like,
I thought Endgame actually picked up a little bit at the end. When I sent you that message, I was like, what am I watching? Because, I mean, up until this point, these guys, their movies haven't, like, looked terrible.
No.
And D'Amato calls this movie, Endgame, the greatest movie he's ever done. That's a quote from D'Amato.
Well, that's bizarre. It's really bizarre because George Eastman is quoted as being like, listen, we all tried to make a Mad Max movie in our life, and they all looked like shit. So that's why people stopped making Mad Max movies. And I was like, well, that's weird because Mad Max didn't look like shit. Seems like anyone could have fucking done that. So.
And Mad Max was made in Australia in 1979 with, like, a bunch of nobodies, right?
Yeah.
Mel Gibson was a nobody. The director was a nobody. And they couldn't have had a big budget. So what was your excuse, D'Amato, for this one?
And, like, if D'Amato has a smaller budget, then don't make a fucking an epic post-apocalyptic movie. He's already who did Rats? Was that D'Amato or yeah, that was
that was
Mattei.
That was Mattei.
Both of these fucking idiots don't know like when to like be like pump the brakes on an idea and be like, hey, you know what? We don't really have the money to like make this make sense, so like let's not do that. Wait, who did Shocking Dark?
That was Mattei.
That was Mattei too. He's the biggest fucking idiot. But I guess my point is just like, you know, if you don't have that money to like make the landscape of a post-apocalyptic world, like maybe don't do it. Like,
see, our man Devin, who came up with these, he loves the set design in Endgame.
What set design? It's a fucking just rocks everywhere. It looks like just because they finally were like, hey, you know what? Maybe we'll leave Italy and pretend Italy isn't like a toxic wasteland.
I mean, of all their post-apocalyptic movies, I guess this one looked the most post-apocalyptic.
Oh,
because
yeah.
because they had no set design. It was just rocks and fucking shit. So, dude,
Rocks and
that ending saved it. The ending fucking saved it.
Wait.
I mean the absolute last scene.
Okay,
If you don't mind me, should I hop right to it, or you want to talk about it?
I mean, you could just say what it is. It's insane. It's fucking nuts.
All right, so I won't do that yet. So Endgame's a fucking mess. and shout out to our listener Dave from the UK. He's been down since day one. I saw his Letterboxd review and it made me laugh out loud because the beginning is very much so The Running Man.
It is. You know, okay, yes, 100%.
But the movie The Running Man didn't come out until after this movie. And Dave was like, so it really took these guys a lot of effort to read that Stephen King book and incorporate that in here. But it is The Running Man.
It is, for sure. And because when I read it, people were like, this is a blatant ripoff of Mad Max. And I started the movie and I was like, what the fuck is everyone talking about? Like, has everyone lost their fucking minds? Like, this is 100% The Running Man.
That one scene sets up like the end game, right?
Right.
that's like the real plot of the movie, is that there's a game.
What is it?
And that honestly, dude, that's what I'm saying. I forgot about that until the very end when George Eastman, who I had already forgotten about his character, shows up. He's like, "Game's not over, bud." Wait, what?
That was the best part. That was the best part. It was
A lot of Star Wars influence too,
to
the point where they even had a guy almost frozen in carbonite. He was just like stuck in a wall and his head was out.
Wait, that scene's so good. Wait a minute. All right, so let's just hop into Endgame right now because we're already there. So the movie is 100% fucking Running Man to start. Like a zany cast of competitors. They all have insane names. Like it's out of control. And then we cut to well, I was going to say something like the SS, but they quite literally are the SS because they drive around in a car that says SS, but their SS stands for security service. But with the same insane S.
Dude, you know what, though? There's absolutely no way Joe D'Amato made that connection. I'm sure he'd be fucking taken aback.
What?
Like, why'd you incorporate Nazis? Wait, what?
Yeah, so that the SS shows up and just starts murdering people, which it turns out these people are mutants.
Mutants, yeah.
And so we've already drifted from the Running Man into this like class war story of like these mutants who just kind of look kind of normalish. But then there's also mutants that look like fucking monsters. But I guess they're fine. I don't know. And then there's like the high class people, which they keep referring to, but I think it's just the military.
Okay.
Which I'm shocked that
they're the ones that have all the guns.
Yeah. But like, why does this even exist in a post-apocalyptic world? Why are there helicopters? Why are there like Joe, there's one scene where the main character walks into like a karate dojo and like talks to his friend that works there, like to recruit somebody. It's like, wait, what? What the fuck? It's like if Mel Gibson walked into like a 7-Eleven in Mad Max. Like, hey, what's going on? George Eastman, as you mentioned, is in it. Finally, he looks like a human being.
He does not look that disgusting, right?
he looks all right.
It's all right.
And it starts with George Eastman and our lead character, who I forget his fucking name.
Ron.
A strong name. Ron Shannon. George Eastman and Ron Shannon have a fucking wrench off to start off their fucking relationship. How many wrench offs have you seen firsthand, Joe?
I've been involved in an altercation where a wrench off supposedly happened.
Oh.
I cannot in good faith say that I saw two men with wrenches on their person at the same time during a street brawl. No.
God damn it. I wish that was a thing. Oh, man. All right. So Eastman and this other bozo, they get into a little fight, and we can sense something's going to go on there, but ultimately they become partners.
Yes.
Ron Shannon is like, hey, why don't you join up with me? And the reason is to get mutants to safety. So it's weird because he like assembles a whole crew to get these mutants to safety. Everyone knows what these mutants look like. And then it was so wild to me, like an hour into the movie, like a couple of these people were like, you are transporting fucking mutants. And I was like, wait, I thought everyone was aware of this situation.
They 100% were, because the only survivors left in
right.
Like the non-mutants were like the elite, and that's what they watched on TV.
Exactly.
Like,
oh yes, you're right. You're right. So it was like the crazed like Running Man people, the elite, and then mutants. That was it.
Right.
Did somebody just peel out behind you?
The loudest fucking car I've ever heard just drove by. Jeez. Probably driven by a bird.
They were like, we can't get him with chirps this week.
He shut his windows.
Fasten the feather.
Oh my god!
Fasten
fucking. You can probably hear him again. Pretty sure he turned around.
Oh. So
I don't live in a wooded area. We talked about it on the Patreon. I don't live in a wooded area, so there shouldn't be that many birds. And I don't live on a busy street, so what the fuck?
Oh man. So Endgame continues, and this first half, I'd say, and this is longer than a half. It's probably it's probably a half, like 45 minutes in. It's not a lot happens, and then it seems to be like the 4 longest action sequences of all time happen.
The blind monk scene.
That is so insane. Those are the guys in black, right?
Yeah. Why is it happening?
Yeah, and why are they fighting monks? And why has Joe D'Amato never seen a monk before? Great question. I don't know. And again, in a world where we're supposed to believe that there's only like 3 classes of people, who the fuck are the monks?
Yeah.
It's so fucking bizarre. It's really bizarre to me.
The VHS cover or the movie poster it was so promising. I was so excited. It's like a guy with like a trident and then spiked brass knuckles. And he's wearing a fucking crown. And he's fucking ripped. I was like, oh my god, this movie's gonna be awesome. And that guy's not even in it.
That guy doesn't exist. Yeah, no. And I was looking up movies to do for if in the result of a tie this week, if we had to do another week of this fucking bullshit, what I would do. D'Amato has like 4 covers of these fucking gigantic ripped dudes on the cover. Like they look like heavy metal, like the old magazine artwork, right? Like out of control metal, like it's nuts. He's got like 4 covers like that, and I was going through all the reviews to make sure we picked something like decent, and everyone was like, yeah, this movie is not anything like the cover. They're like, the guy on the cover is shredded, and they're like, and the hero has like a fucking tire, like a tire on his stomach. So yeah, no, that's a thing for him. That's definitely a thing for him.
I have a question, and it's such an insignificant part of this movie, but it's a new criteria. Who has a stupider sounding character? Is it the guy who shows up before like the Blind Monks fights? He's like, "Wow," and like just spit talks, or is it the robots from Robowar? God, dude. Fucking so stupid that they had to pay someone to record that.
Yo, they didn't even. Dude, you could have just used like a synthesizer and like like fabricated the voice. It is 100%.
You could have just not had them fucking talk.
And not talk incessantly. Dude, the robot in that movie doesn't shut the fuck up. Dude, it's like one of the funniest things. There's a scene where the robot literally talks for like, and I say talk, you loosely, you don't understand what the fuck he's saying. He's just making noise for 5 minutes straight.
The first time he did that, it was also doing robot vision, so everything was blurry, and I thought it was just like copy, like being a piece of shit. And then I realized that was an intentional choice by Bruno Mattei to keep that in there. It's all distorted vision, and then the thing being like, fuck you. Anyway, the guy in this movie is probably soundest ever. That guy is the stupidest sounding guy I've ever heard.
I'm gonna fucking throw up. Oh my god. Oh, that's fucking amazing. So yeah, they they beat the 100 monks, which was also hilarious because like they beat them, but they don't really, because at the end the monks are kind of just like standing around them as they all just like get on their motorcycles and like kind of like swinging half-assedly. Like, they didn't kill them all. And they just drive away, and the monks are like, I'll get you. Such a weird anticlimactic ending to that fight. And then we learn that the mutants are telepaths and like, is levitating telepathy? No. I don't know. They can levitate shit. They can move shit with their mind. They can Jedi shit.
Yeah, that's telekinesis.
All right. Telekinesis. So we got that. Well, one kid has that. And I wrote a note here that says, I'm calling it now. There's no way this comes back. Like, in typical D'Amato, Mattei fashion, like, they're just throwing this in there to waste our fucking time. Turns out
it comes back, and it comes back for about 15 minutes. Looking left and right and shit happening.
Exhausting scene. And after that, we get some other scenes. They get the old duped by fake dead people, and they're actually alive. Also, I have to say this. I understand the argument that it's a Mad Max ripoff, but I don't see it at all. I really don't. Like, even at this point, it's not. It'd be hard pressed to call it a Mad Max ripoff.
Rip off, maybe not. Heavily influenced SAS, just because of like the wandering nomads. Whereas Robowar is definitely ripping off a movie, and in typical Mattei D'Amato fashion, it's not RoboCop. It is ripping off RoboCop in a slight sense, but that is not the main movie.
No,
that Robowar is fucking ripping off, which is so ridiculous. This is why I love Robowar. Honestly, I'm not actually liking both of these movies more now. Like, God bless these two guys.
Dude, it's nuts.
Thank you to D'Amato.
Dude, like, think about D'Amato. D'Amato flew a crew to New Zealand to make this. That's crazy. That's crazy, dude. Like,
wait, Endgame was filmed in New Zealand?
Yeah.
We gotta get our buddy Chris from Scorner Creation on. New Zealand's like beautiful. What the fuck?
Wait, I'm like 90% sure. Hang on, now I need to check, because maybe did I fuck this up? Oh god, hang on.
I mean, Robowar was shot in, like, there's green stuff.
Maybe that
was it.
Yeah, I think that is what it is. My bad.
I wish it was this, because what a waste of a trip. Just fucking filmed out on a blacktop. Flew his cast to New Zealand and filmed on the pavement in the parking lot.
When we were talking about the desert, I was like, oh wait, like, dude, I don't think New Zealand has deserts. Oh, fuck me. Well, whatever. I'm gonna pull this up. I'm like 90% sure this was filmed in New Zealand. If none of them were, dude, I can't even find that this was filmed in New Zealand. The Philippines. Dude, I honestly have no idea where I read that. Jesus Christ. All right. Well,
what was filmed in the Philippines? Robowar?
Yeah.
Yeah, that looks like,
that makes sense. Dude, I swear Endgame was filmed in the fucking New Zealand.
I want nothing more to be true.
Yeah, no, this is not.
I don't see anything. It's filmed in fucking Donato's backyard.
Wait, I think I found what I was citing, though. Oh, no, that doesn't make sense. Whatever. Fuck it. Anyway.
I mean, you mentioned this was a trauma release.
Yeah, it was. Not surprising. They chose the worst movie of everything we've seen by these two guys to release.
Lloyd being beside himself, that didn't make him a lot of money.
Oh my god. The whole mutant thing, like we talked about, is a little weird because like everyone just looks the same, and for some reason in this movie there are mutants with like mutated features, like mutant features, but those like aren't even like the main mutants you see throughout the movie.
No, the main mutants that you see, you have to be told that they're mutants, and then like you see some things like float. like you were saying.
And honestly, like, the non-mutants that we see look like fucking mutants. Like, everyone that's playing Endgame looks like a fucking bizarro freak show. So I don't get it. Anyway, an army shows up, and it's literally an army of people. Like, hundreds of people on motorcycles show up.
Yep.
And these are, I think, mutant people. They have mutant faces. They actually have some makeup on. So there's like 8,000 of them against these 6 people plus the mutants. They murder all 8,000 of those people and in the army. And they suffer 2 losses of the 6 people that were in the caravan to save the mutants.
Yes.
Which is pretty good, but they're like devastated by this. I would be like, holy shit, that's unfucking believable. That's the craziest thing I've ever heard. Like, because one guy's like, can you believe these 2 people are dead? I'd be like, holy shit, that's it? That all of us are still alive? That's fucking insane.
That's a good point.
It was nuts. But in this process, Lilith, the queen of the mutants, is kidnapped.
Yep.
Now, they seem to make this a big deal. They're like, holy shit. But they immediately know where Lilith is. And then Lilith calls them via telepathy. And they're like, don't worry, Lilith, we'll be there tonight. Which seems great until Lilith immediately gets fucking raped by a fucking monster. Yeah. Which, maybe the most unnecessary part of the movie.
I would agree.
By a monster that's like, look at me while I rape you. Fucking the most insane dialogue I've ever heard. And like, again, like, Lilith's kidnapped. We don't need this scene whatsoever. And by the way, fucking Ron is tuned into her like through this telepathy, and he's like, hey, is everything okay? And she's like, yeah, it's fine. Which I understand like the point of it, but like like, why even use it then? It's not a tool for like getting them there quicker, right? It's not like Ron was like, oh shit, we have to get there right now to save her.
And this is not like that type of movie. Like the other movies, D'Amato was going for the shock value, and it fit because those movies were disgusting. This is a fucking reality show that we're watching. Like,
also,
there's no need for it.
I don't think he rapes her, by the way.
This is good.
Because in the next scene, so this is where I'm confused. I mean, he definitely assaults her because he rips off her shirt, but the next scene, he's tied up and she has all of her clothes on.
Also, she
I think she's like telepathy to like fuck him up.
Well, good for her.
I think, but you know, it's not very clear. And again, not really a big point in the fucking story.
Right.
So fucking bizarre. And yeah, that monster mutant will get stabbed later because he's tied up. And Ron shows up, fucking stabs him in the guts.
Ron Shannon. Why? Ron's name should have been George Eastman's name because it was like Carmack or something. Much more badass name.
Tarmac. Yeah, it was like car. Yeah, it was like the car can or something. Well, they get the mutants to where they needed to go, which was looks like the same place the whole movie's taking place. And then they're like, well, now I just have to wait, I guess. That's an exact quote. Ron Shannon says, now we just have to wait, I guess. Now, during this wait, fucking 18 different things happen. The Nazis show back up for some reason, so I guess where they drove was not safe. The helicopter probably could have landed anywhere to pick them up, because the Nazis show up and we get another giant fucking action sequence. And then we get the 15-minute long telepathy scene.
It's literally just a little kid looking at things and then guns like turning, but you don't even see like that much carnage. You just hear gunshots for about 15 minutes.
For a D'Amato movie, like, this is like the least gore, the least everything. Like, even
You could have just been during this scene. You could have just been throwing buckets of dyed red water in the air, and it would have been all like you know what I mean. But he didn't.
there was nothing.
He held back.
There was nothing whatsoever except dust, because the kid kicked up a dust storm, so you actually couldn't see what was happening. Just
And he makes like
bullets and dust.
the head bad guy slowly turn his gun so he kills himself. And it was pain that guy acted so hard, like fighting, turning that gun towards his face, and it lasted for like 7 straight minutes.
Yeah, I was like, did that scene last that long? And then when you reminded me about that guy, I remember it taking so fucking long. It was honestly unbearable, to a point where I was like,
selling it, dude.
So he like starts pulling the gun away, like clearly it's out of his control, and I'm like, oh, he's gonna shoot himself. Like, I wrote the note before it happened, and then I remember being like, wait, is that what's happening? Because it took so fucking long.
Dude, it cuts away at one point. I honestly don't think I'm exaggerating. I might be misremembering, but doesn't it cut away to like all the other guns firing, and it cuts back to him, and the gun's only like halfway turned towards his face? We watched like a whole sequence.
That is completely accurate. It actually cuts like 2 or 3 times in that scene to it murdering his entire army. His entire army is being murdered, and it cuts back, dude, and it's like maybe it's like at 11 o'clock on a clock. It's like not even totally facing him. It's like, no, I'll give it 10 o'clock. It's like slightly to the left, slowly coming around to his face.
And then again, when it finally shoots him, it could have been like a more grandiose ending to him coming from D'Amato, and it wasn't. It was just like a bang, and then you see like some things fly.
Yeah, that was it. And then the helicopter shows up. Oh, wait, and also the kid drops rocks on some of the guys. It doesn't matter. But the helicopter shows up with like a fucking bucket of gold, which, again, probably useless in the apocalypse, but that's fine.
100% useless. Any currency in the fucking apocalypse.
And they take the mutants, and the girl's like, "Hey, you could come with us." And Ron Shannon, for some reason, is like, "Look into my mind and then fucking tell me that." And she's like, "Okay, I'm gonna go." Cool, thanks. All right, I'm out of here.
And then the scene that single-handedly saves this movie happens right now, because that's exactly what happens. And she's just like, "All right, we'll see it," and then she leaves him, which negates the whole. Why was he doing any of this?
Right,
like, he's already won. What? And then fucking idiot Eastman appears from like behind a helicopter.
Which we didn't mention. He was killed, or supposedly killed, in a scene like 20 minutes earlier. Like he's trapped below with like a horde of mutants, and they're forced to leave him behind. And wait, also, can we just mention also that the psychic, the Lilith, had told Ron Shannon that this guy was going to kill him for the gold.
Yes.
So this was all like, it was insane. He was like, "Huh, thanks, Lilith," and then like proceeded to keep hanging out with this piece of shit. But yeah, so we've thought he's dead for like the last 20 minutes, and then he just fucking shows up out of the blue, and he's like, "Hey, time to play."
Game's not over, buddy.
Yeah, the game's not over. Time to play the final round of Endgame, and then throws his gun down, and then they both pull out knives and wrenches, and and they start running at each other 100 miles an hour. And then what happens?
And it ends. That's how the movie ends. There's a fucking freeze frame at the running at each other full speed.
Didn't even freeze.
Comes the credits.
Didn't even freeze frame after they like hit each other. Like freeze frames, like they're like 10 feet away from each other.
That made me laugh out loud. Which kudos. That should have been a category. Which one did I laugh out loud more?
I don't know, because honestly, the Robowar robot talk was honestly, I after like the second
you're
time,
right.
I was laughing almost every time the robot talked because it was just like, blah, 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 blah.
And the thing that Devin said in this movie is actually good. We have to start defining the word good.
Yeah. No, yeah. And I love our listeners so much. They're all so great. But I think we have to just stop listening to them, period.
Honestly, Devin's choices for this have been fantastic.
Yes, they happen. They happen. They have.
And Robowar, I enjoyed the shit out of. But like, The Godfather's good. RoboCop is good. Robowar is neither. Yeah, it's not even the same universe.
And I also have to say that he was working with a very limited. So, because I had prepped for in the event of a tie, I had to go through both these guys' filmographies and kind of like try and match up a theme between them. It ain't easy. D'Amato didn't do a lot of like good things. Like, it's a lot of porn. It's almost entirely porn. Honestly. So it's like really tough to like, he was not, Mattei though was like different, right? Mattei made a, like, you could just pull, we could do 100 weeks with Mattei's shit.
It's so funny because 5 years ago I watched Cool Jaws. I remember, I even said it on the show about how much I hated it, and I was like, I will never watch a Bruno Mattei movie ever again. And here we are, dedicating an entire month of my life to it. And honestly, I love it. So I'm glad I did this.
Yeah, I think Mattei, I dig him. I looking at his filmography, I kind of want to like just keep digging around there. D'Amato, I'm good. We've honestly hit all of D'Amato's shit basically.
Well, you did. Well, before we go into Robowar, let's say it's a tie. Let's say the winner goes to Mattei.
So yeah, so we got D'Amato, Mattei, draw, and then Mattei's probably going to win this. I can't think of a way that Mattei doesn't win this. Actually,
this is 0%
yeah. So it's a tie. Let's say it is a tie, right? So yeah. We have to do another fucking week of this shit. So we'll also talk about something else. Let's hash something else out. I know our fans have talked about how funny it is that like our house cleaning will take like 40 minutes. We'll do like our like just like shop talk for like 20 minutes, but let's fucking do it right now. The live show is coming up. We've taken like a little bit of a break, which was great, by the way. I think that was great. I'm ready to hop right back in though here. Okay. What are we going to do a watch along? Because Joe and I have been talking about this, and I've figured out how to do it successfully without any issues, legal issues.
I would love nothing more. And I think we talked about doing a watch along and then like pausing a part, like talking amongst everyone with it.
Yeah. So like our idea is, and this was actually our first idea kind of pre-pandemic, right? Was we had discussed this and we were like, this is what we're going to do. And then when the pandemic started, we were like, okay, we can do this, but logistically it's harder to do the watch along. But I figured out a way to do it, especially like remotely. It's a little tougher. But this was our idea, and this was our idea for our live shows going forward, our real live shows. You know what I mean? We had talked about this like right when we started the pod again, where we were like, okay, we're going to do this, and like this is what our live show format's going to be, and this is what this is going to be. So I think this is what we're going to be moving to for even the virtual live shows, which is, like Joe said, we're going to talk about it at the beginning. We're going to watch it. We're going to pop in every now and then, like during the movie. We'll bring somebody on. We'll bring a fan or two on, like during it. Maybe do like a trivia thing or something in the middle, or, you know, some fucking gimmick, right? Then finish the movie and then like do like a little chit chat at the end, right?
I like it.
I think it's a great format. I think it's way easier for us to do it that way. I think the show is a little tougher to do. But we'll test it out and see how it goes. So that's what I think we're going to do this month to start. And
Cruel Jaws.
So the question is, okay, so we have to do another week, right? Do we? I guess we can't do that. I mean, do we want to do another week and then the live show, or do we want to do a live show in between?
Let's do that. All right. Another week and then the live show.
All right. So, and is Cruel Jaws the live show? Are we for sure on board with that? I'm fine with
yes. It's either that or Emmanuel. Whoever wins the tournament gets the live show.
Okay, fine. Now that said, I was able to come up with 3 new categories for the final week. One was Sharks, Deep Blood versus Cruel Jaws, which we discussed in our Patreon episode, and Paul and Joe put a kibosh to that one. Real fucking
a miserable experience.
The next one is Nuns. They both have a movie with nuns in it. The Coven of Sinners and The Other Hell. The Other Hell honestly sounds enjoyable. Coven of Sinners, I'm pretty sure it's a pornography again, but hidden as a satanic horror flick. And then the final one I had is an army themed with Tough to Kill, which is, I believe, a mercenary film, but same difference, versus Strike Commando.
I mean, that's my vote.
I'm with it. When I found Tough to Kill, I was like, that's definitely the one. I imagine Devin probably had that somewhere in his list. You know what I mean?
So I actually was talking to Devin before we recorded this, and he was like, "Hey, if it goes into a draw, like you need an extra week, this would be a good matchup." And it was those 2 movies, and I'm 100% on board with it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, I think that I imagined he had that in like the back of his head. All right.
Dude knows so much about these 2 fucking idiots.
It's insane. When he owns them all in like multiple copies. He posted a fucking Blu-ray of Robowar. Are you fucking kidding me? No one owns Robowar.
But every Friday in our Patreon, when Joe Bob Briggs is on, he's the first one in there being like, "This fucking piece of shit movie." It's always something that's like endearing that everyone wants to watch.
They're usually classic films, and but he owns multiple copies of Robowar. Robowar was not released in the United States until 2019.
Really?
Yeah. That's when Severin Films gave it its good old Blu-ray release. I get it. I get the appeal of these movies. And in some ways, we should be glad there are people out there keeping them alive so they don't just disappear off the planet. But that said, can you imagine running a business and being like, all right, we release movies, we re-release movies that people want to buy. I got it. Robowar. Movie no one's seen because it was never released in America. It'll be gangbusters. Fucking unbelievable. Wow. I fucking love it. This is 1988. This is a Vincent Dawn. This is a Vincent Dawn flick,
starring legendary bad actor Reb Brown.
Yep, written by Fragrasso. Fucking again.
I regret
that should be killed.
Reb Brown was at a con at Mohegan Sun in Connecticut, and I kept telling Tina. This is a couple of years ago, and I kept telling Tina, I've never wanted a picture of anyone more than Reb Brown. And I didn't do it for some reason because I was like hard pressed on cash. And there was nobody there to see him, and I fucking regret it. Next time I'm gonna.
Oh, I just got a cold chill. Of course, there's no one there to see him.
Then he's the original Captain America.
He's fucking Yor, the Hunter of the Future.
He sure is. Classic. We used to watch it all the time in college.
Oh my god. Yeah, so he's that like dumb Captain America with the giant like bobblehead helmet, right?
That's J.D. Salinger.
Oh, that's right. So which Captain America is he?
He was in TV movie ones.
Oh, okay.
I think he has 3 of them.
How was he in those?
Shot it. It's like a biggest piece of shit. We should do them. We should do Reb Brown Appreciation Month.
I mean, he doesn't have a ton of them.
Dude.
I mean, he's got a lot, but
what the fuck is that? The Last Sacrifice, the Mystery Science Theater one.
Oh fuck, is he in that?
He sure is.
Oh my god, he was in Howling
Commando.
2. Wait, did we do Howling 2?
Yeah, yes, he was, and yes, we did. Yeah. Yeah. Uncommon Valor. That was actually kind of good.
Oh, this one looks great. Cage. It's about cage fighting, but they have like the old WWE cage, like with the giant squares. Dude fighting Lou Ferrigno, starring Reb Brown and Lou Ferrigno. Fucking kidding me?
Who keeps casting Reb Brown as like the macho military guy? That's just like he's like typecast into that.
He absolutely is, and it's honestly bizarre.
Well, I'm all for Reb Brown Appreciation Month. Also, Robowar, a movie that I thought was going to be about RoboCop, but instead it is Predator. It is the movie Predator to the T. It has the same group of characters as Predator.
Oh,
it has the Predator night visit. The opening scene is like honestly lifted straight from Predator.
Absolutely, 100%.
And a splash of Rambo.
Yep, there's definitely Rambo in there for sure.
Like the waterfall scene is straight out of the first Rambo movie.
Yeah, and it's also completely unnecessary to this film.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
Mattei, I think Mattei is the king of like crowbarring shit he likes into a movie.
the Vince McMahon of cinema.
Right.
The stuff that he's seen recently and being like, we gotta put this in here.
Hey man, I just watched fucking Rambo. Get this guy to fucking jump off a cliff.
So if I may jump into this.
Yeah.
It is Predator, as I had said, but instead of a Predator, it's a RoboCop. And my favorite thing about this is there's a guy on the mercenary team who's later revealed to have created this RoboCop.
Dude.
And doesn't say anything the entire time. And he also has the detonator to stop him in his backpack this entire time. While he himself is like being hunted and terrorized by this thing.
Oh my god, I'm already crying. There wasn't a lot of facts about these movies on the interwebs. The only fact that did make me laugh was that the actor that played the cyborg fainted twice while shooting the film. Because he's in a jet black robot suit, which is just all plastic and a bike helmet. And it's in the Philippines in the fucking jungle. Like, it had to be 200 degrees in that fucking suit.
Yeah, and Bruno Mattei was taking no precautions.
Absolutely not. I was actually just thinking about that, about the waterfall jump, because I was like, oh, in Rambo there was probably, it was a stunt guy. There's probably 30 people right below him, like as he came in, like they swam to him. You know what I mean?
A medic on the set.
And Mattei 100% was like, jump off that fucking cliff, dude. Like
those guys probably didn't even have passports. So if anything happened, they were not getting any medical attention. They weren't being allowed out of the country. Just shooting rogue in the Philippines.
Oh my god. So yeah, it opens up a lot like Predator. I mean, it opens up as Predator. But how many times do they show that same fucking scene of the robot shooting a bazooka? Dude, at minute 4, this is not a joke, they showed that same clip 3 times in 4 minutes.
Bruno Mattei is the master of just using the same shot.
Fucking, like, do you think though, like when he shot it, he was like, all right, I'm going to use this a few times? Or was he just like, he starts editing and he's like, oh, fuck.
I'm inclined to believe it's the later. Except I don't think it's all fuck. No, you know what? I think it's both. I think it's like, I think while he's shooting it, he's probably going to be like, you know what? I'll probably just use this a couple times if I need to. And then when he's editing it, like, yeah, fuck it. We need to kill some space.
Right. I agree with you. I think he sees it and he's like, that's fucking sick. And then as he's editing, he's like, yeah, we cut a couple seconds, fucking throw that bazooka scene in a few more times.
The master of showing you the same thing or just using stock footage, which for our live show, if I remember correctly, Cool Jaws is like 90% that. It's the same shark scene looping over and then stock footage.
So tune in, guys. Tune into Cruel Jaws.
Paul claimed it was making him sick to the stomach because it was just a shark shaking like a cave with his fucking snout. Over and over again.
Oh my god. We meet we meet a bunch of people. I don't care about them except the one guy named Papa Doc who is the most idiotic name I've ever heard in my life. Papa Doc is like two nicknames put together. Not Papa, not Doc. And we meet a group of soldiers who are sent to this island with no mission whatsoever that they are really aware of, or I'm aware of.
They say it. They say that none of them know why they're there. It's a top secret mission.
Always the start of a good fucking movie. And as Joe mentioned, Reb Brown is the captain of this ship. So that's we're in good hands here. A lot of walking around the jungle for the first while of this. Although they will randomly shoot people out of shoot human beings out of trees, which I didn't quite.
Yeah, well, the island is filled with like guerrilla mercenaries, right?
Yes, which is the guerrilla Rambo soldiers. Aspect. And
they're like eradicating them. Except now that we say that out loud, that's probably even more alarming because these guys don't know why they're there, so they're just taking it upon themselves to kill these guys.
100%. And I remember there's a scene where like the guerrillas are chasing down this woman, and I'm like, part of the aspect of Predator that makes the whole thing work is how isolated it is, right? Like,
yes,
middle of the jungle, there's this thing hunting you, there's no one to help, there's no vehicles, there's not even a fucking road. You're in the jungle. Right. However, in this one, they have like access to like telecommunications, to vehicles. There's like it's an inhabited island. With just a shitty robot on
it. Dude, that scene with them chasing that girl, it made me laugh out loud at how much ammunition they unload.
Yeah, oh my god,
these gorillas.
Let's wait to get to dude. That was like that was so insane. And this is honestly where this movie could have been worse, but the gore and the violence was so much better and funnier that it would win alone just on the gore and the violence. Because they walk into a field of their like, I don't know, like other soldiers, but they have been fucking melted. Like just disintegrated. And honestly, I think it might be some of Mattei's, I don't want to say it's his best gore. It's good.
No,
but I think
it's up there. Yeah. I agree.
It's his most clear. It's like shot clear for once. It's not in the dark, it's in the daylight, and it looks fucking grotesque.
Now, shout out to Devin again, who right before we were recording was telling me, and of course I don't have my conversation open, so I'm going off memory. Hopefully I don't misremember. But he was telling me how Mattei and his writer, what was his name, Fragasso?
Yeah.
They would film this in the daytime, and Fragasso was making Zombie 4, so he would stay up all night on the set. Also, he was watching the bonus features, and the guy was like, yeah, I had no involvement with this movie whatsoever. And then listed like every single scene that he was involved in, which is like the entire movie. But I think some of the Zombie 4, and this is just me making an assumption, I would assume some of the Zombie 4 props and makeup were used since they were shooting.
Oh, it has
essentially
to be
24 hours.
It has to be, because there's no other representation of melted people in this film except this scene. Because I assumed I was like, oh, I think they're blending like the alien like acid into this a little bit, maybe. Or something, because these humans are melted, like they're fucking melted. That's not the case, and no one looks like this ever again. So they definitely had to bring the props back to Zombie 4.
You know what? You know what made me laugh out loud about these guys is these guys are supposed to be like the elite of the elite mercenaries. I have never seen a group in more plain sight ever. Like mercenaries are supposed to be like, they have ghillie suits, they hide in like the woods, and these guys are in like the most wooded sections and looking at the roads, and they're just huddled on the side of the road talking to each other loudly. And the robo beast, whatever you want to call it, sees them every single fucking time. It doesn't even need to use its infrared vision. It can just glance at the side of the road and just see these fucking idiots huddled on top of each other.
Dude, so we're at the scene where the gorillas chase down this woman, and it leads to the most insane shootout. It also leads to, like, what you're saying. These two, like, there's two moments of just, like, such piss poor, like hidden mercenary, like, and one is like, and think about Predator, like the things they did to try to remain like silent and like not get caught by Predator. And dude, my favorite was the gorillas chase down this woman, and it cuts to a guy who is holding a giant assault rifle, and he just has a palm leaf draped over it, and he removes it as if, by the way, his hands are holding the gun. He has two hands on a gun with a giant palm leaf draped over it, and he rips the palm leaf off as if this is like, as if this is a shock reveal. It's unbelievable. Oh, you know me, just carrying my palm leaf around. And then, like again, like you mentioned, so you see these gorillas chasing down this woman, and we know our heroes see them, and it appears that they might be hidden, right? And the mercenaries chase her down, they stop her, they get out of their cars, they have her surrounded, and the camera, this is like the funniest shit I've ever seen in my life. The camera literally pans 3 feet to the right, and all of the guys are just standing,
all squatting there, yeah,
just on the side of the road,
yeah,
with guns pointed at them. Like, they were not. Like, it was the most insane thing I've ever seen.
Dude, every time the robo thing, what do you even call that? The robo like, what? The robot?
It's a cyborg. It's a cyborg.
Every time that cyborg is on the screen, Reb Brown blows their cover by just screaming, look out! Like, the thing's not even making eye contact with it. He just screams, and then it looks at them every single time and shoots in their direction. They're the shittiest fucking mercenaries ever.
Dude, there's also, like, multiple scenes of people being like, there he is!
Yeah.
It's crazy, dude. It's fucking crazy. Well, they chase down the woman, and you know, they waste thousands of rounds of ammunition. There are maybe 6 guys there. And the best part is those 6 guys are dead within the first second of shooting.
Yeah.
Right? Like, they've all fallen.
And then there's that one guy who has his gun to the girl's head, and Reb Brown gives him the kindergarten counting to 3 to put your gun down, and somehow it works. And then they also proceed to waste like an entire fucking clip into the guy afterwards.
Joe, they put at least like 50 bullets into that guy. Oh my god, it was so crazy.
Why would that guy listen to a 3 count from Reb Brown? Like, his entire platoon is just murdered.
And you don't even know who the fuck he is. Like, who the fuck is this guy? Oh my god. Fucking Reb Brown. Oh yeah, and then the cyborg shows up and just starts shooting lasers at no one. Oh man. They come across another guerrilla stronghold where, like you mentioned before, they just proceed to go on their own and just kind of murder everyone, like 100 people. and by the way, it was such a funny scene because I couldn't even imagine filming this because it looked like little kids playing army. You know, like, hey, like play army. Like they're like rolling around, they're jumping through windows for no reason. Like it's really bizarre. It's really bizarre. And Captain America tries a one-liner too, which I loved. Which is he stabs a guy with a knife, like into a post, like sticking him into the post. Yeah. And he goes, "Don't move," and then winks at him.
See, this movie, while I couldn't agree with calling it good, it's very enjoyable. It's a very enjoyable movie.
Sure.
I would sit through it again.
For sure, absolutely. And then another great part about this scene is everyone's shocked when this woman reveals that they've killed a house full of children. Like, of course they did. It was the most insane behavior I've ever seen. They were literally with no intel whatsoever. They were like, fucking gorillas. And just proceeded to blow up every house in the island. Zero information to base that off of. They've just come from another fight. So they're just like walking around and like just fucking murder 100 people. Oh my god. Well, this cyborg still shooting at him, still kind of following him around. I don't even know if the robot's mad at him, to be honest with you.
I don't know what I don't know anything. I don't know anything that's happening. Like, because as I said before, we find out one of the guys in the group created him.
Yeah, which
like,
has that happened yet? Because that's weird. That's a weird scene too, right?
I think it's happening now because they've been building up this guy, like nobody likes him, and he's always just like complaining and bitching about being there. Mm-hmm. And then the guy's like, I know you know something about this, and he's like, oh, I used to create these things.
It was so weird. It was so fucking weird.
Oh wait! Before they get to this scene, doesn't that fucking guy with the beard get stuck in the water?
Oh my god! Yes. Dude, there's a bunch of scenes that like happen. Dude, I'm trying to figure out where he. Yeah, I guess it is later. And there's like a scene where they find all the body parts. Remember that?
Yes. Even though the thing's not a predator, it's just a robot. So why would there be that many body parts? It's not eating them. It's
like a guy's hand, like up to his forearm.
Dude, that guy gets stuck in the water, sells that. So that scene that made me laugh out loud too, because they're only like knee deep in water. He's like, "Oh, something's got my foot," and the camera stays on for like 12 minutes while he's pretending that he can't move, and nobody's going to help him. They're all just like, "Come on, man."
Oh yeah, it's right here. Oh yeah. I do have my note here. Okay, good. So. Yeah, and it's right here. Because they do a montage that's not really a montage because it's just real time with a rock song in the background. There's not a single cut in this montage. It's just them like doing shit. That was wild. And then yeah, it's revealed that, you know, this guy built the robot. And also a detonation device.
In his backpack that he's had this whole time. That could have just saved everyone a fucking headache.
He's literally ripping people to shreds.
Dude, and then he goes, instead of that detonation device is like one of those cartoon ones that you can press the button anywhere and they're just gonna blow up. But instead he like goes up and shoves it in the robot's face and immediately gets fucking killed.
And then somebody gets dragged away by the robot's shittiest Doc Ock arm I've ever seen. And that guy gets dragged for like 3 fucking miles. Honestly, dude, how is it not a comedy? That's so insane. It was like, I don't even know how to explain it. It reminded me of like a Beastie Boy music video. Because like, it was just like, it would like cut to a different scene, like location, and like you just see the guy getting dragged across by this fucking like dryer vent arm, like fucking flimsy arm thing that's just dragging this guy across the grass. Fucking incredible. They all start individually trying to kill this robot, which basically leads to all of them dying and brutally exploding. One guy gets punched in the stomach and spits blood all over the camera. That was tight. The robot has great breasts too.
Great breasts? What you said?
Yeah, he's got the biggest breasts in the movie.
Like pecs?
Don't worry about it. Hey, it doesn't matter. One guy, which I'm claiming that Alien AVP, Alien versus Predator, stole this from this movie.
This is 0% Jets. That's true. But go on.
Remember in AVP when the guy commits seppuku?
Vaguely, yes.
Okay. I think they stole it from this guy. This guy, he's like, I don't even know what he is. Is he like a Russian guy? He's like a big Russian guy. But he's like, you go. I will fight him. And he throws his gun down and then pulls out a fucking sword. And the robot is not hidden at all, which I thought was like weird. Like he doesn't have like the invisibility that the Predator has, right?
Right.
So like he's standing right in front of this guy, but this guy is acting like it's Predator, like looking around nervously, but the robot's right in front of him. And the guy's got a sword and is immediately murdered by this robot who just like shoots him in the face.
So why do you think AVP stole that?
Because he pulled out a sword.
Okay. You know what? It's a compelling argument. I'm on it.
I mean, honestly, who else would pull out a sword when fighting the fucking Predator and like being like, because like you're gonna die. I don't know.
Sure, I'm with you.
All right, thanks.
I'll ride with you.
Thanks. Well, luckily, remember that woman they saved?
Yeah.
She's a doctor and a chemist. She's a doctor and a chemist. And knows how to make napalm. Not only is she a chemist, but she knows how to make napalm. And they
that's
also
not
have
too
all the
hard, right?
ingredients.
Napalm's just styrofoam and gasoline, right?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't think napalm is that much. Does it even need the styrofoam?
Well, it's not just gasoline.
I thought it was just gasoline in a bottle.
No, it's definitely. I think it's.
Oh wait, no. I'm thinking of a Molotov cocktail. Napalm, styrofoam, and gasoline.
Yeah, it burns slow.
Oh,
I think I actually learned that from Paul, who's making it in like the woods.
to throw at some kid.
Statute limitations fast.
Dude, remember fucking what was that Anarchist Cookbook?
Yeah. Honestly, bullshit. Because I came across a copy of it and it told you how to get coins from a payphone.
Yeah.
Didn't work. Bunch of bullshit.
Dude, that like, is that even still illegal to own or no?
I don't know. Better question: was it ever, or was that just like a lifestyle?
That's that is the better question. That is the better question. I feel like, what's it called? Anarchist Cookbook?
Yeah.
Oh my god, they made a movie of it? What?
I'm sure it's great. It was, dude. The book is just fucking tips of like how to do shit.
Right. Published. This is legal reviews. I mean, I heard that the guy that wrote it was like, "Yeah, I wish I didn't do that." Like, I don't think he realized like what it. Dude, I don't think it ever was illegal. Newspapers ran stories about how easy the text was to get a hold of. mean,
I literally came across a copy of it in the 90s, the late 90s. So
yeah, I don't know. That's crazy because I remember I wanted it. Oh yeah, dude, because there was like freaking and like on the phone, right?
yeah.
Fuck, that's crazy. I remember I'm not going to talk about it. Never mind. It was nothing illegal. It was prank calls, but like,
Dude, I'm sorry to interrupt you because I just thought of this because I remember I think I sent a picture of it to you and Paul. The Anarchist Cookbook was supposedly illegal. A couple months ago, I was in fucking BJ's and they have the book section. And it was just like how to get away with fucking killing your neighbors. So the most absurd fucking title. And I opened it up and it was just do you remember me sending you that picture? It was just telling you like how to make all these makeshift weapons and like get away with stuff. Like,
I do.
What the fuck? Are you kidding me?
I mean, listen, O.J. Simpson wrote a book that was like, hey, if I did it, this is how, and then proceeded to explain everything he did that night. Fucking nuts, man. Oh man. Can we do no, I'm not going to say that. Never mind. Anyway. So how about that Robowar?
Yeah, Red Brown, man.
Rusty Cunts, starring Rusty Cunts.
Throwback to our Patreon where Paul
Patreon made me laugh so
brings up a name and proceeds to like argue with me that it's not actually the guy's name, even though he's the one that brought it up and nobody else said anything about the guy. So. Fucking idiot.
Dude, because Paul said Rusty Cunts was a lawyer, and I did not realize he was a baseball player. You did, and you were like, he's a baseball player. And Paul's like, yeah. And then I was like, so is Rusty Cunts a lawyer? And Paul's like, no, you idiot. I was like, wait. All right, so Robowar, the robot's mad. They're making napalm. Thankfully, they found that nice young lady who knows how to make napalm. And the idea is to lure this cyborg into a building and kill him. But we learn he's a person. And he's fucking Ludwig or whoever the fuck the guy's dog tags were that he keeps looking at all fucking movie. Honestly, this might be the best plot of all of them that we watch. Like as like a sustainable plot for the most part. You know what I mean? Like as a story.
I don't think I disagree with that. Yeah.
It would honestly, both of them have like a decent story that you're like, okay, they're telling a story. Right? I don't totally get it, but like I think I get the premise of it. Whereas like a lot of the other movies were like, take your best guess.
Yeah. Oh fuck, I didn't ask you that this week. Damn it.
Well, you know what?
That was good for 4 weeks.
It's actually fine because like really I think these were the most clear cut. I probably could have kind of gotten them.
Yeah.
There's some holes in it, but like both of them you kind of knew what was happening and what the plot was. They gave it their all this week. They came out swinging. Also, during the scene, this woman keeps throwing citric fucking acid at him. I think it's citric acid. It might be hydrochloric acid, but like it looks like citric acid based on the size of the font. The font is gigantic on the label. So I think she's just throwing orange juice at him. But they blow him up in the building.
Yeah.
And Reb says it's over. It's finally over. And they're about to escape. And the robot is back. The robot's alive. The movie's not over. They run away. The robot is like sliding down trap rock, like a trap rock trail. Least intimidating thing I've ever seen. He's like slipping on rocks. We get the face off at the waterfall.
Yeah.
Somehow the woman has made it onto a boat, right?
Yep.
But our hero Reb is on the waterfall with this cyborg. The robot has come to grips with his own, mortal horror, and gives Captain America the detonator back. And Captain America blows up his friend and jumps off the waterfall. All while this woman is watching in complete fucking horror from a fucking boat.
God.
And how does it end? I don't have a note about the ending. Is that the end?
What a great question.
I think that's the end.
Last thing I honestly remember is the waterfall scene.
I usually write like that's the last scene. And I didn't hear. Whoa, that's weird. I was really focused on the credits because it said the name Quang. And Quang, dude, what a fucking pro wrestler Quang was. That was Savio Vega. Do you remember that?
I do.
Dude, he was fucking sick. He captured my imagination as a kid. Savio Vega in a mask, but he spelled it differently. Oh, man, dude. I was obsessed with Quang. I thought Quang was the shit. Jim Cornette fucking managing him. All right. The zombie removes his mask, hands Reb the destruct radio, and instructs him to key the destruct sequence. I mean, that's a stretch. He just hands it to him. The guy, fucking robot, can't talk. Reb does so and returns to the shore. So that's how it ends.
You know, I was gonna say, I thought both of these had abrupt endings. The last thing I remember was the waterfall sequence. So yeah. Does it?
Yeah, I think it might just end.
Like the credits just start rolling.
What a bizarre ending. You don't know if he lived or not.
The robot?
Yeah.
Yeah, nah. Sequel.
Fucking insane. All right, so let's get
Warriors Part 12.
let's get to it. Shameless ripoff. Who wins? Obviously,
it's Robowar.
Yeah, Maddie wins that. Movie quality and plot.
It's Robowar.
Enjoyment and replay value.
Robowar.
And gore. Robowar.
Robowar. A clean sweep.
Dude, is that the first one?
I think so.
I think so too. Which is crazy. Maddie was fucking on the fucking ropes.
He was. Now we're tied up. Now we're going to the tiebreaker.
And we are going to be doing, by the way, basically all of these movies are on Tubi. It's insane. Except this week. This week's were like the hardest movies to find ever for some reason. Well,
Robowar's on Tubi.
Robowar is on Tubi. And really, quite frankly, it's the only one you need to watch. Tough to Kill and Strike Commando are up next. I believe both of those are on Tubi. By the way, if I'm making a ton of noise, I am like moving my mic around like a fucking lunatic right now. I'm just like slamming it around like an idiot. Tough to Kill. I don't see it anywhere. Probably going to be a piece of shit, so don't worry about it.
Strike Commando's going to win. I'm calling it now. Strike Commando's going to win. I've seen it before.
Dude, Strike Commando for sure. I don't trust this fucking guy. Strike Commando doesn't show like it's anywhere. Well, it is on. It's in full on
YouTube.
It was also known as Cobra Force. Oh, it's got Reb Brown is in Strike Commando too.
He sure, dude. He's one of the guys that runs full speed and bumps his head to the other guy.
Hey. Guess what? In this movie, Claudio Fragasso starts using a different name. Clyde Anderson. These fucking guys. How much money do you think Reb was making on these?
It can't be much.
You don't think so?
No, this movie wasn't even released in America until 2019.
You think it was just like the appeal of like, hey, I'm getting paid to go to the Philippines?
Yeah. Free airfare, cocaine, a fucking warm meal for as long as he was on the set. That's it. What else could you have possibly gotten?
I think you're right. Dude, lumping a warm meal into it makes it sound so desperate. I'm fucking crying right now.
I mean, I'm not lying. Like,
I agree with you. No, I totally agree, but it's just so
Greg
great.
Brown would have starved to death if he didn't fucking do these.
A warm meal. A roof over his head. Oh my god. Oh, I'm loving these.
Yeah.
All right. So next week we will do Tough to Kill versus Strike Commando, our final week. Somebody's got to fucking win. It can't be a draw. It can't be a draw.
And the winner picks the
Shark
or determines the winner determines the live show.
The live
Yeah,
show the
the live
following
show,
weekend. Yeah.
So it's either Cruel Jaws or Emmanuel.
Right. And we won't be releasing an episode that week, right?
Right.
We'll just do the live show.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. I need a fucking break. All right. I've actually had a blast with it.
I have to. It's like the most I look forward to recording. So.
Yeah. So, all right. Tough to Kill versus Strike Commando. We got our wish. Fucking Maddie, bring it home, boy. This is it. I'm so excited. Which one's Bruno Mattei? Is he the really old one or the slightly old one?
He's the really old one.
Okay.
No business doing this shit.
I still can't believe he made a Terminator 2. I'm also shocked that none of these guys were involved in Lady Terminator. Or were they? They weren't, right?
No, they were not.
Okay.
No.
That was a fucking...
I think Lady Terminator is a Philippine movie.
It is, yeah. It is. It absolutely is. Oh, man. All right. That's it, guys. Thank you all for tuning in. I appreciate you. Thanks to all of our Patreon supporters. If you want to support us on Patreon, it's patreon.com/IHateHorror. We do almost an episode a week. It's kind of crazy. We've done 25 since the new launch, the relaunch. 25 new episodes. So we're doing dude. We're cranking them out. And they're fun. They're easy peasy. And you get stickers and, you get access to like the special edition tees, like the con tees, which everyone was gobbling up. Thank you all so much for that. And yeah, it's a cool place, cool community. So head on over to patreon.com/IHateHorror. We're at IHateHorror.com, Facebook.com/IHateHorror, and Instagram at IHateHorror. And if you do, we're gonna be using a new system for this this week's live, or this in 2 weeks live show. So if you want tickets, head on over to IHateHorror.com. I'll set up the link there. If you're not Patreon, you can buy tickets there. And I'll be posting instructions on our Patreon on how to access this new format live show, because it's not going to be available through YouTube, because YouTube will shut us down. So keep your eyes peeled for all of that. And Joe, where can they find you?
Instagram, Boogdish1985.
Awesome. All right, guys. Thank you all so much. Thank you, Joe. And that's it. So for Joe, this is Sean. Stay weird.
Thank you.
Adios.
I dissect movies all fucking day.
I wanna play. I'm gonna watch what I'm not supposed to watch. Fucking zombie getting sliced and diced.